All right, Dynamite the Light. Let's make this clear. You see the title, and I still stand by it. We didn't get much extra here. We didn't. We got a few matches that were exciting. We got some things going into Full Gear, but honestly, we didn't get much extra going into Full Gear. Now, before I get started, I do want to address the Continental Classic. Since I did not do my collision, I didn't state what had happened with Tony and seeing Bryan Danielson there with his eye patch and everything. And supposedly he'll be in the Continental. I would have rather heard this than hearing that All In next year is all ready for pre-sale for your tickets. Why? Why? Why didn't he go there with that first? I don't understand. What is he doing? Him standing there going, my bad teeth, I'm going like this. What? Why? Why did he do that? I don't understand why he didn't just leave it to Excalibur and Tony Schiavone to talk about it and not bring that up at all. And he does this. This made more sense. Now, would I rather not see him do this announcement openly himself? No. I don't want to see him because we've seen too much of Tony, because he's making it more about him than it is about the brand itself. You cannot be more than the brand because you end up like another Vince McMahon. And slowly but surely, the way the booking's been and the way he acts, it's like he's trying to become another Vince McMahon. But the younger version that was at least smart enough not to act too stupid when he was in his 70s, when he was like in his 40s or 50s. The Vince that we know, Mr. McMahon, when he was beginning to transition, that's what Tony's like. That's what he feels like. A Vince McMahon before he became the Mr. McMahon. But I don't understand what he's doing. I'm just saying. Now, let's make this short because there's not a lot here and my stomach is still on and off messed up. All right. Wheeler Yuta and Mox versus a Hook and Orange. Let me give it to you like this. It wasn't a bad match. It leads into Full Gear when it comes to Mox and look, seeing Mox take that straight orange punch straight to the face, didn't flinch, basically made him look like a bitch, and that is Orange Cassidy, I'm fine with. But now what do we get with Wheeler Yuta and what do we get with Hook? Are we going to get a match probably at what? Countdown 0 or 0 Hour. Sorry, not Countdown 0. 0 Hour. Because I don't really watch 0 Hour all the time. But we're going to get 0 Hour. And we probably will have that match there. But to be honest, I don't know what we're really doing with this title. Let's be honest. The FTW title should be merged with the international title. I would like to see it get merged and called the FTW International Championship. This is me. I want to see that title merge because we got too many titles. If you don't want to take the FTW title away, you want to keep the name brand, but then you've got to do something with the international title. Combine them. Combine the FTW with the International Championship and just make it the FTW International Championship. I think that would be the wise thing to do. Let's go next. The match that was terrible. I don't know about you. I don't hate Sky Blue, and I don't hate Red Velvet. Red Velvet, when she came back, sorry for the stuff in my eyes, I have allergies. It tends to happen very quickly. Even when I clean my eyes within 30 minutes, sometimes my allergies go, they just, anyway. I'd rather talk like this than this match. You watch that match. It was sloppy. It was telegraphed. I don't know what happened. I've seen Sky Blue wrestle. She doesn't act slow when she jumps and goes from the mat to the ring ropes, to the mat, to do her moves, and to do a Hurricane Rana, to do a suplex, to take a suplex. She's not that slow. And seeing that Red Velvet's just come back, she seems to be fast enough to work in the ring. But whatever was there did not work. It didn't work. You can go watch it for yourself on clips. Leave a comment below. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. But when you watch this match, it was like Red Velvet was not that great. She still got ring rust. She's sloppy. But when you look at Sky Blue, it looked like she slowed down on purpose, and a lot of her moves were sloppy, either because she was off step with Red Velvet, or Red Velvet herself was sloppy and didn't do the right thing. When she's supposed to do a code blue, the last move that was done before the match was over, when you looked at that code blue, it was the sloppiest code blue. She didn't even get her in the headlock right with her own legs, doing the flip, because it is a code red. And either Red Velvet didn't do it right, or it was Sky Blue who did it wrong. I don't care. Majority of match just seemed to be sloppy. Now, they had a few moments that looked fine, but it looked sloppy. And then here is the thing for me personally. I'm going to say it now. Do I care about the TBS Championship match, the triple threat? No. There's only one person in that match. Well, let me crank this back, make it quick. When you see it, who is the most developed there? It's not Chris Statlander. And it's not Sky Blue. It is Julia Hart. Who is the most interesting at this point? Not saying it's a great interest, but who's the most interesting? It's Sky Blue, because she's not following like Red Velvet. She's not following Widow Nightingale. She's doing her own thing after she got sprayed in the face. We don't know what she wants to do. She's acting like she wants to be just like Julia Hart, but she's not. So we don't know what direction she is. And then you got Chris Statlander, who is the most emptiest of them all, because she came in, no build, gets the damn title, then has a second match because, guess what, Jade Cargill was leaving. She should never had to deal with it. She should have came back earlier if she could. Or better yet, she shouldn't even gone after the damn title in the first place. It should have been a myriad of other women. Like, here's for instance, Athena, Willow Nightingale, Ruby Soho. You got Taya Valkyrie. Any one of those women should have gotten the title earlier, so you could have done a little bit more with Jade Cargill away from the TBS title, so she could have a little bit more before she left. I'm not saying it would have been great, but at least she would have had a little bit more, and it could have been expanded on before she was gone. No. And now you got Chris Statlander, who's literally done only open challenges. And the only thing she's got, the most minuscule thing, is that she has a little problem with Sky Blue, because Sky Blue doesn't like her. That's it. Next, Joe destroys a guy. And it makes it very clear to everyone, as well as MJF, I'm here. You ain't getting rid of me. You need me, I'll be your friend. I will be your friend so you can retain those damn titles. And he's talking about MJF. But I am here and I'm coming. And to be honest, Joe feels the most legitimate threat to MJF than anybody else. That's going to be what he's dealing with. Penta and Commander versus the Bucks. Now, this was not about Penta working with Commander, even though Ray's not there. This was about the Bucks cheating. Because that match they're about to have at Full Gear. No, was it Full Gear? Is it Full Gear? I believe it is Full Gear. That they're going to have that match. If the Bucks win, they retain their title shot. But Kenny and Chris are no longer working together. But if they lose, they give up their title shot. That's the way it works. Which is fine. I didn't have a problem with it. Seeing them give both Penta and Commander nut shots with their legs up the... Fine. They're doing what they got to do to win. Does this mean it's more interesting? No. You know why? Because it's too soon. Well, not too soon. I'm botching here because it's frustrating to see when they do have an idea, and they should be really promoting that 3 weeks ahead of in advance of a pay-per-view. A month if you can get it. No. I mean, not too soon, but too late. I'm dyslexic. I always do things backwards. I'm sorry, guys. But when I get frustrated, I have a tendency to botch. And it's too late. Yeah, they had a few moments before in the last week or so to show that they're frustrated and that Kenny should be with them, but still. Next, the Guns versus another jobber group. and I believe one of them was Avalon, making it very clear to MJF that he is going to lose that damn title. To be honest, did they need that match? No. They didn't need it. They didn't need it. Now, I won't say it wasn't funny to see Juice Robinson lift his leg like a damn dog and piss on I think it was Avalon that was in the ring, or was it the other guy? I think the other guy. That was a bit funny. But it didn't really need the match because they already got it set up. Next, the street fight. Oh boy. This is where a lot of people are going to say the street fight. Excuse me. This street fight was, what was it? I'm about to call him Big Show. Paul White being taken out when, let's paint the picture. Everybody was at the arena. Paul White was at the Titantron with everybody else. Everybody else ran down the ramp. He stayed up on the Titantron. He can't walk. Guys, I made this very clear earlier. I got no problem with an older wrestler being used correctly if they can be. And WWE has never used their legends or their older wrestlers correctly. They use them like crap. They never build them up correctly. They never take care of them correctly. And it always ends in garbage. Here in AEW, like Sting, like Adam Copeland, like, well, we don't know what's going to happen with Ric Flair. And we know that Adam Copeland and Christian Cage will have their story. At least with older wrestlers or wrestlers who are legends, they take care of them decently well. But when you look at Paul White, he was supposed to have gotten a hip replacement the last time he was in WWE. That I remember when he was working with Braun Strowman, when he was willing to go through the steel cage, through the wall of the steel cage, roll out and hit the floor. That was around the time when he was about to leave. So as far as I was concerned, he's going to get hip replacement. I don't know if he got a knee replacement, but he got hip replacement. He got himself in great shape. He got cut. If anybody saw him on Instagram or Twitter, he was like this. He got muscles. He was ripped. Then he went and joined AEW. Hadn't seen him in months. And months. And then a year. Especially after AEW Dark Elevation shut down. They don't longer work. So we have not seen him since. But now, what happened? It looks like he can't walk anymore. He seemed to be perfectly fine once he got his hip replacement. So the key here is, what are we doing with him? Look what we got. He could barely walk. You saw him walk to the back. He can't run. He was never great at running after he gained a huge amount of weight because of the gland. And now after he got the hip replacement, he's supposed to be able to walk much better. He could barely walk. He goes into the parking lot with Powerhouse Hobbs, getting a whole bunch of pallets next to a black car, and then Powerhouse Hobbs, who barely looked like he can even lift him, power slams him onto the car, shatters the glass. And I don't think he hit his head on the car. I don't believe that. I hope he didn't. But honestly, what was the point of him being in the match? Except to try and get over Powerhouse Hobbs to show that he's the most strongest guy there. If you wanted to do that, you might as well have done something with Mark Henry. One of the strongest people known in the world. If Mark came back, because he wasn't badly injured, he was fine. He just decided to retire. I would have rather seen Mark Henry deal with him than Paul White, who looked like he couldn't even walk. Was the rest of the match fine? Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was not bad. I did not have a problem with all of the match. And I think Kenny Omega with not the glass bottle, but what did it call? The candy bottle. I think when he cracked the candy bottle on Fletcher's head, something went wrong and he got hurt in his hand. I don't know. Something happened. And for the rest of that match, when he cracked him on the head, he was holding his wrist. Now, I don't think he broke his wrist, and I don't think he was bleeding from the wrist because I didn't see any blood, but it didn't look like it. But he got hurt. But what did this really give us? Particularly now that we're going to have Collision on Friday. Because we're going to have Collision, Rampage, and then the countdown to Full Gear for the next day. So I think he's going to wrestle that day. So I'm kind of like, I understand why they did it with Kenny there. I know he had to do it. But will they benefit from him having another match on Collision? I believe it's Collision or Rampage. I don't know. I don't think so. I think he shouldn't even be doing a match. But it's just me. And MJF. MJF's segment was good. But here's the problem that they had most of that night. I didn't say throughout the rest of the show. The Cali crowd was dead most of that show. If anybody else says, dude, the crowd was great. When MJF goes to any state, he always wins the people over. You tell me how quiet they were. It can't be because the mics were not on, because the mics were on. That crowd was dead. For at least maybe 40% of that show, they were dead. There was barely anything going on. Yeah, they had a couple of cheers like for Sky Blue and Red Velvet a little bit. And a little bit of that. But that show with that was not good. Now, mind you, was the promo good? Yeah. He made it very clear, and he kind of repeated himself once before, but he always changes it up. He makes it very clear that he has tried his best to really do the right thing. Now, and the people he's been close to, when he lets them in, gets hurt. So he apologized to the Acclaim, which, honestly, I kind of agree with JD. What was the point of him even being with the Acclaim in the first place? But I can't say it was bad what he did, because they are trying to make a story with him and progress his character. He's not a whole good guy. He's just not. He's still a scumbag, and it makes it clear. But with the crowd not even cheering, he's our scumbag in loud numbers, because there was a lot of people in there. It was quiet. That was the most dead I've ever heard people chant, he's our scumbag. Once his promo was over and he talked to Jay White after he does his promo. Then talks about the devil and whoever it is he's coming. Then you get a little bit of Jay White. And be honest, I'm telling you right now, Joe is more substantial than Jay White. I'm sorry. I don't feel Jay. I don't hate Jay White. I don't hate Bullet Club Gold. I don't hate his cutout. But I'm telling you right now, Jay White feels like he should not have been put into this. Because I do believe it should have been somebody else. I truly believe it was meant to be someone else. Adam Cole was supposed to work with MJF before he got hurt. And I do believe Roderick Strong would have been the center of that. And yes, we did get Robert Strong in the beginning trying to tell Adam that MJF is the devil, the guy in the devil mask. But it is obvious that he was inserted at the last minute, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I don't think he talks bad. I know he wrestles pretty good. He's got a good level of charisma, to be honest. He's got better charisma than Nolan Dar of Metaphor, and working with the Supernova Sessions 11, but he doesn't feel like he's meant to be there. And in the end, I just don't feel it. It just feels empty. Now, does it make sense for him to destroy MJF after he speaks? Yes, so that leads into Full Gear. But did we get really extra here? No. We didn't really get much here. We didn't get extra here. But that's just me. Peace.